Have you ever noticed how opening up too much about your personal details can end up undermining your own progress without you even seeing it coming? Certain topics might appear harmless at first glance, but revealing them invites unwanted scrutiny, resentment, or even a loss of control in your daily life. In this discussion, I'll outline the 6 aspects of your life that you ought to keep completely private. Yes, absolutely private from everyone, including your closest confidant, your significant other, or even a family member. By mastering the art of discretion in these areas, you'll gain greater strength, independence, and clarity in your pursuits. This isn't about being overly suspicious. It's a matter of smart emotional management and safeguarding your vitality. Stick around through to the finish, as the insights here could transform the way you navigate your relationships and self-growth forever. Some information is best retained not from anxiety, but from thoughtful strategy. Once you've absorbed this, you'll see the reasons clearly. Prepared to dive into the initial item you should avoid discussing with others? Content like this has the potential to shift your perspective profoundly. So I suggest hitting that subscribe button on the channel, where fresh videos on these themes drop daily. The first element to guard closely of genuine personal development is your aim. Your intentions and strategies prior to their full execution. Many folks overlook a critical truth until they have already suffered the consequences. Even the most promising ideas can fade away if revealed prematurely. I get it. You might figure that voicing them aloud builds accountability, sparks motivation, or rallies encouragement from those around you. That reasoning feels sound on the surface, yet it hides a subtle pitfall that might have been holding back your advancement for ages. Allow me to illustrate with an example. There was this ambitious individual eager to launch a venture. The concept was brilliant, the roadmap solid, and the enthusiasm palpable. Right from the start, the impulse was to broadcast it widely, to buddies, relatives, and across online platforms. Posts filled with inspiring quotes, updates hinting at a major undertaking. And the outcome? It all fizzled out. The initiative never took off, not because of insufficient skills, but due to oversharing that drained the drive, as the person expended effort on conversations rather than concrete steps. This isn't just a one-off tale. It's backed by psychological research. Announcing a major objective triggers what's known in expert circles as a premature satisfaction effect in the mind. Essentially, you get a rush of fulfillment simply from articulating the aspiration. That dopamine surge meant for the actual accomplishment hits early, before any real effort begins. Consequently, motivation wanes, urgency fades, concentration slips, and the ambition remains mere rhetoric without substance. But it extends further than mere brain chemistry. It's also about tactical wisdom. Broadcasting your blueprints invites external input, influences that may not be positive, and critiques you never sought. Often, those offering feedback lack the credentials to do so meaningfully. Consider it like this. Would you trust a ride on an amusement park attraction built by an unqualified amateur? Would you take money tips from someone in perpetual debt? Then why subject your deepest visions and core ambitions to casual remarks from individuals who've achieved little themselves? The troubling part is that malice isn't always involved. It could stem from their own projected anxieties, plain unawareness, or something more insidious. Personal insecurities, rivalry, or a subconscious wish to see you stay at their level. It sounds blunt, sure, but we've all encountered that individual who responds to your news with a grin that masks subtle discouragement. Things like, is that realistic for you? Or, not everybody pulls that off? Or, maybe sleep on it a bit more. If your resolve isn't rock solid, those subtle digs infiltrate your thoughts like a slow-acting toxin. They erode confidence gradually until hesitation sets in, and the whole effort stalls or gets ditched entirely. Commit this saying to memory. Ideas nurtured quietly gain real momentum. Those proclaimed loudly too early often dissipate in the noise. Observe the accomplished individuals around, the real achievers who sustain progress. They tend to operate with restraint, not out of timidity, but from recognizing the importance of undivided attention. Each utterance releases vital energy. Squander it on persuading skeptics, and you'll deplete the reserves needed for actual creation. As for the notion of public accountability making you follow through, here's the reality check. True obligation is internal, to your own standards, not to an audience. Folks treat goal declarations like grand announcements, but they're truly ongoing journeys, and journeys unfold privately, endured, navigated, savored in quiet, built through daily grind, sans fanfare, validation, or external cheers, just you facing the challenge alone in the stillness. So, how to approach it? Operate discreetly. Allow your results to announce themselves when the time is right. Confide only in select allies who've proven their worth and add genuine value. Safeguard your drive. Not every thought demands expression. Not every sensation requires broadcasting. And most crucially, pursue inner change over external approval. To wrap this up, your aspirations are like fragile sprouts. Don't subject them to harsh elements or yank them up for inspection prematurely. Nurture them carefully, shield them, and let growth reveal itself naturally to others. Not through announcements, but through evident success. That's what separates the resilient from the fragile. With that in mind, let's transition to the next area. The second aspect to keep under wraps if you cherish your sense of self-worth. Your inner emotional fragilities, particularly with those unequipped to handle them appropriately. This is a sensitive topic, since every one of us experiences periods of raw exposure. There are times when confusion hits hard, when you feel shattered or overwhelmed. In those instances, the urge to confide and unburden feels overwhelming, seeking comprehension from another. And that's perfectly human. We all need outlets. The goal isn't to suppress everything and turn stoic. However, pay attention. Not everybody is capable of cradling your openness, let alone honoring it properly. From years of observation, I've come to this realization that I wish I'd grasped earlier. Mishandled vulnerability doesn't foster bonds. It leaves you open to exploitation. Revealing it to someone unprepared turns you into a target, easily influenced, diminished, or even mocked. Truth is, the majority aren't tuning in to empathize. They're there to evaluate, critique, stack up against their own experiences, or hold it as ammunition for later. Ever opened up profoundly to someone, only for them to reference it offhand later, in a group chat, a lighthearted jab, or during a conflict? Remarks like, "How can you say that when you admitted to me you felt totally defeated?" Or, "Remember how you broke down over this like it was the end. Don't act tough now after confessing you were a mess." It leaves you stunned, as your moment of truth becomes a tool wielded against you. Honesty with feelings doesn't equate to recklessness in sharing them. Absolutely recognize and process your internal struggles, but that doesn't obligate you to disclose them broadly. Your sensitivities belong to you, and access isn't granted to all, because not every smiling face is an ally. Not every advisor has your interests at heart, and not every ear values your trust. Avoid mistaking this for bottling up emotions. It's not about internalizing until breakdown. It's about selective disclosure to a professional counselor, a guide, a proven companion, individuals demonstrating maturity who view you as a full person deserving gentleness, not fodder for rumors. And here's a gem of advice. Certain hurts mend quicker in private, not because sharing is wrong, but because outside voices can complicate the recovery. Occasionally, solitude acts as healing, paired with reflection, writing thoughts down, or a secure personal ritual that's restorative rather than isolating. And what unfolds when you disclose sensitivities without discernment? You present a partial, skewed portrait of yourself to others. Even worse, they begin defining you by that low ebb. You're reduced to the person who struggled with a breakup, battled worry, or admitted directional confusion in life. And truthfully, they don't grasp the whole you. They latch onto your nadir. That's why timing, setting, and recipient matter immensely when unveiling softness. In unfit surroundings, openness doesn't humanize. It weakens your position. Yet, if you're engaging with this, you possess a rare asset, self-awareness. And awareness paves the way to resilience. Curating access to your emotional core doesn't make you aloof. It makes you discerning. Prefer a handful of deep connections where authenticity flows freely over dozens of surface ties where fragments of you risk mishandling. Here are straightforward guidelines for self-preservation. Refrain from discussing profound feelings amid turmoil. Wait until you've gained perspective, not while submerged. Watch how potential confidants respond to others' exposures, if they dismiss, ridicule, or spread it. Envision their handling of yours. Treat your openness as hallowed ground. Avoid wielding it for sympathy, justifications, or playing the victim. Channel it toward growth, as today's frailty can evolve into tomorrow's triumph narrative, but only on your terms for timing and audience. In essence, your inner world isn't for public broadcast. You retain the right to experience and recover, alongside the responsibility to shield yourself. Don't distribute access keys casually to your psyche, because unlocking without care might invite not support, but harm wrapped in friendliness. The third item to never disclose to others: details of your present money matters, particularly if they're unsteady. This subject is tricky, which explains the general avoidance in conversations. Yet, if you're the type who casually mentions earnings, debts, financial struggles, or even booms, you're committing a subtle but grave error that's hard to spot. Discussing finances, whether positive or negative, lays you bare to exploitation and preconceptions. Let me break it down simply. Your economic status alters interpersonal dynamics profoundly. Admitting hardship might aim for understanding, but it often yields condescension instead. And condescension erodes dignity. It casts you as needy, incapable of self-reliance, trapping you in a narrative. They're always in a bind. Funds are forever short. What begins as openness becomes a stubborn stigma. People categorize swiftly, and linking you to lack makes it tough for them to view you as capable or authoritative. Ironically, judges often wrestle privately with similar issues, though unspoken. Flip to prosperity. When fortunes improve, earnings rise, ventures expand, investments pay off, and you share excitedly, earn through grit. But reactions vary. Opportunists emerge, fair weather connections deepen selectively, contacts surface for favors, or quiet resentment brews. Envy manifests subtly, in strained congratulations, flat, "that's great" responses. Sarcastic quips like, "must be nice with all that cash," or "not everyone gets those breaks," or things just fall into place for you, right? You intended celebration, but now navigate draining vibes, shifted gazes, not admiration, but rivalry. So, how to handle? Total secrecy, invisibility, nope. Cultivate savvy in both finances and emotions. Start with this principle. Your wallet details aren't small talk material, as today's emotional spill could fuel tomorrow's comparisons, diminishments, or leverages against you. A profound insight. Finances mirror your inner state, reflecting self-perception, embedded beliefs. Oversharing money talk often exposes insecurities. Declaring "I'm strapped" subtly signals inadequacy. Boasting "I'm rolling in it" might seek affirmation unknowingly. Neither brings tranquility, as both anchor worth to wealth, which is risky. Grasp this deeply. Your inherent value isn't tied to balances. Wealth doesn't elevate status. Scarcity doesn't diminish it. Strength lies in outlook, learning capacity, adaptability, perseverance, consistency. That resilience shines silently. It's evident without proclamation. Engrave these three pillars. Treat finances as confidential matters. Disclose only to mentors who advise constructively, not mere spectators. Address shortages privately through action, not explanation. Let successes demonstrate themselves. Humility amplifies them. Boasters chase admiration, but quiet continuers command it naturally. Essentially, your economic phase is transient, changeable, but publicizing fixes it in perceptions, turning temporary hurdles into defining traits. Funds fluctuate, but character endures. To forge a solid, admirable presence, master restraint. Often the smartest move is silence. The fourth element I'd advise against ever revealing to others: confidential matters and personal circumstances of your relatives and dear ones, especially if they're not yours to disclose. This is exceptionally touchy, as impulses lead many to overshare unintentionally, perhaps to process or release tension. Yet, divulging family or friends' privates can fracture bonds and erode faith irreparably. Imagine the sting if a trusted person aired your confidences during your weak spot. How violated you'd feel if circle members exposed your details sans permission. Handling others' privates toys with essentials, reliability, connections, reverence for personal boundaries. In essence, it broadcasts, this bond isn't precious enough for me to safeguard your sanctity. Faithfulness is an unspoken agreement. Regardless of closeness, breaching it demands forethought of fallout. Once out, words can't be retracted. They may halt, but repercussions echo. We might believe venting eases burdens, but it plants seeds of wariness. Intentions aside, harm occurs. Consider a scenario. A companion shares a raw, agonizing confidence, a relational crisis, career blunder, profound dread, exclusive to you. You casually mention it elsewhere, deeming it minor. Result, betrayal shatters them, eroding faith in confidants. This ties to honoring boundaries. Breaching invites broader skepticism. It applies to illusions too, nameless references still expose. Loved ones merit protected zones for their sensitivities. This isn't total muteness. Healthy ties involve exchanging personals. But discern, your issues, shareable. Theirs, partners, siblings, parents. Question necessity. Trust norms dictate, and trusted tales remain owned by the teller. Preserve them preciously as reputation suffers from mishandling vulnerabilities. Even benevolently, reflect. Betrayal of your intimates would wound deeply. Pain, shame, shattered bonds. Years of trust vanish swiftly. Guarding isn't mere allegiance, it's grown-up empathy. Some narratives aren't yours, and grasping potential irreversible harm is key. Ultimate wisdom. True respect shows in restraint, what to voice and what to withhold. Communication strength is in selections of silence. Essentially, kin's tales, battles, confidences are proprietary. Respect their autonomy, honor the faith extended. Untouchable without approval, treasured when given. The fifth area to avoid discussing with anyone. The inner workings of your intimate partnership, particularly conflicts and strains. Romantic bonds heighten exposure. We exchange deepest joys, fears, doubts, and yes, clashes, frictions, disputes. Differences are standard in sound pairings, but airing them outwardly isn't. Ever spilled post-fight details to a pal or kin after a major spat? Issue. Overexposure with unseen ripples. Mistaking it for release, it's a snare. Temporary relief sows relational doubt. Listeners lack full context. Get your slanted vent. Forming tainted partner views. Picture. Heated exchange, frustration-fueled words. Shared later, listeners' perception shifts permanently. Your own lens alters too. Narrative solidify, tough to undo. Need support? Fine, but differentiate constructive seeking from defamation. Share discord only for resolution, with neutrals respecting confines. Rule: avoid biased ears for couple matters. Home stays home. Shield this sanctity as you would career privates. A one-off spat might seem defining to outsiders. Memories linger, distorting images even post-reconciliation. Overwhelmed? Pause. Compose. Avoid heat-of-moment shares. Reflect solo. Address partner directly. They hold the full picture. Involve externals sparingly, via prose if needed. View partner as ally, not foe. Airing erodes shared intimacy. Publicizing dilutes bond strength. Lesson: partnership respect manifests in unspoken guards. Privacy fortifies resolve, sans worldly interference. Essentially, couple friction is commonplace, but external venting isn't. Preserving flaws internally bolsters trust, shields affection from outside influences. Enjoying the insights, resonating with points. Like strongly, subscribe for ongoing empowerment. Now, the sixth and final, to withhold. The formulas behind your victories, as exposure risks interference. Pitting milestones tempts detailing the how-to. This strategy clicked. Here's the discovery propelling me. But reality check. Detailing paves sabotage paths. Success is journey, not endpoint. Your crafted route of toil, unknowns. Why hand it over thoughtlessly? Envision sprinting toward wins, solid concept, execution yielding fruit. Share, and copies emerge. Lacking your grit, they falter, muddle your uniqueness. Worse, Details arm competitors. Envy sparks blocks, critiques, theft of spotlight. Not paranoia, safeguarding your edge. Achievements breed varied responses. Admiration or threat. Strategies shared become leverage for disruption, like revealing poker hand. Protect by minimal talk, maximal action. Silence maintains advantage. Curiosity abounds, but no obligation to satisfy if it jeopardizes. Today's win breeds tomorrow's rivals. Equip them. Invite rivalry. Reserve specifics. Results proclaim. Probe excessive questions. Motive check. Your distinct methods define you. Don't democratize control. Execute privately for focused power. Essentially, withhold pre-achievement details and ascent keys. Operate stealthily, preserve momentum. Oversharers empower detractors. Wrap up. Discretion communicates volumes, often surpassing verbosity. We've covered 6 guardables, not from ego, but savvy self-care, maturity. In oversharing times, the mightiest excel in selectivity. They value internals highly, sharing CD's soul fragments undeservingly. Your path, pains, ties, roots, finances are hallowed. Nurture accordingly. No duty to bear for acceptance. True respect needs no full dossier. Excessive seekers may aim control, urge to spill, pause, ponder. Silence holds space, strength, shield, prime armor and prying worlds. Balance openness with wisdom. Discern inner circle from onlookers. Guard essence. Words forge paths or portals. Grateful you stayed. If provoked thought, stirred selectivity, mission accomplished. Subscribe for continued tools on inner fortification. Next time, wisdom in knowing silence is might. Reflect, resonate, join via bell for awakening strength. We aim to ignite evolution. Which point hit hardest? Share with needy ears. Until next, tend your inner voice, serenity, and the potency of quiet.